I think he's. I can't say what I want to say on air, but I think.
Oh, come on, Adam.
I think he's taking that caucus to the vet and completely. I'm just gonna say it, neutered them. That there's who's going to go after him.
Right,
He led the insurrection on Scheer and O'Toole both times, but he's got them so whipped. Like, who's going to take him out? Like, I think there are some questions that definitely need to be asked. You look at a Ryan Williams, that Bay of Quinte. Yes, Bay of Quinte's gone liberal and all that, and yeah, probably redistribution impacted because they lost the northern part of the riding, which is conservative. Frankfurt, for example, went over to Shelby Cramp, Newman. But for the most part, like, those are ridings that should typically stay conservative. So he has to answer to the why he lost those. But at the same time, you look at, I go back home to Cambridge, Kitchener South Hesper, that are both leads right now for the Conservatives, that are flipped from the Liberals. You look at Brampton, that the seats they've picked up around Brampton and Northern or South York, or I guess, South York, and right around the 416. Like, if you asked anybody, those were the areas that he needed to win in Atlantic Canada, for example, as well, and he's shown that he can do that. But again, I think if the NDP doesn't collapse, and there's some vote splitting that typically needs to happen for those, and you look at the Durham seats, for example, that went heavy Liberal, you're probably looking at a different conversation altogether. It's the end for Pierre. The bad fortune for him was the fact that Jagmeet Singh couldn't get a vote if his life depended on it, and that is the bigger issue at play from my perspective. Sure, there will be some people that are people were calling for his head at campaign malpractice in the middle of the campaign, right? I think he needs to take a look in terms of what they could have done differently. Was the media distraction? Was there too much talk about the mechanics of a campaign that distracted from his messaging at times? Absolutely. And I think were there missteps? Absolutely. But you can't hide from the fact there were positive gains. And if it was a first-timer politician, if it was the Ontario Liberals we were talking about and they did something similar, you'd say it's a win. So I think now we have to step back and you have to figure out, does he take out a person that's got their pension in Western Canada that can give up their seat that can run, but that's still waiting on at least 6 months for the by-election call, then the by-election time. So you're still 7 months without an official leader of the official opposition, because parliamentary rules dictate you can't be the official leader of the official opposition without a seat, unlike the Prime Minister, which is a constitution that it's appointment. So that's what's going to be interesting for who leads them in the House.